My name is Colleen, and this is my kitchen. I've struggled with my weight my entire life. After trying every diet in the book without any success, I came to the realization that diets don't work. I started my journey at a size 26W, weighing just over 300 pounds. In almost a year and a half, I've lost over 120 pounds, and I am a size 14. No W. What's my secret? Eating healthy and moving more. Now I'm here to show you how you can cook healthy food without compromising on taste and lose weight just like I have. Because if I can do it, you can too.
Hello and welcome back to my kitchen. Tonight we're going to be making a chicken dish. We're making a pan-roasted orange chicken, and I'm going to show you how I make that to be lean and light but still full of lots of flavor as usual. And then to go alongside that, we're going to be making some parsleyed potatoes and green beans, and I'm going to show you how I put that together using the same dish that I start cooking the chicken in. So the first thing we need is an orange, and what I'm going to do with this is just trim off the ends, and then I'm going to slice this into some slices. Once I have that sliced, I'm going to just cut those in half, so they're like half moons. And then I have here 4 chicken thighs, and these thighs have the skin on, and they've also got the bone in. Normally I like to cook with chicken breast. I just prefer light meat over dark meat. It's also a little lower in fat. However, for this recipe, because of the portion size, the chicken thighs actually work better. So what I'm going to do is I just loosen up the skin here. See, it creates this great little pocket. And I'm just going to take a couple of these orange wedges, slide them right in there, right underneath that skin, between the skin and the meat, just like that. So you can't even see them in there, but they're going to add tons of flavor in that cooking process. And so I'm just going to do the same thing for all 4 of these chicken thighs. Once you have those stuffed in there, those orange slices stuffed into the skin, I have my pan that I've been heating over medium heat, and I've coated it with nothing more than some non-stick olive oil cooking spray. And I've coated it very lightly, and the reason I've done that is because we've still got the skin on here, and so as this cooks, it's going to render off a lot of fat. So I don't need to add any kind of oil or butter to the pan because I want to watch the fat content of this dish. I'm going to place it skin side down, orange side down. You hear that nice sizzle there? That means my pan is nice and hot. Perfect. And I just want to sear these. I'm not going to cook them all the way through. I'm just going to sear them until they're nice and brown on that side. So while that's searing, let's go ahead and put together the sauce that we're going to cook it in, finish cooking it in, I should say. First, I'm going to take 2 tablespoons of olive oil. A little bit of fresh ground pepper. About a 1/4 teaspoon of coarse sea salt. And 1 teaspoon of fennel seed. Goes really nicely with the orange. Then I'm going to take 2 of these orange slices that I cut up, and I'm just going to take them in my hands and squeeze them and let that juice run out. Gives me roughly maybe a teaspoon of juice, I would say, orange juice. Then I can just toss away the rest of this. We're going to use the rest of those oranges though, so I'm not going to toss those yet. Then I have 1 sprig of rosemary here. And we're just going to chop this up and add that to the sauce here. Let's check our chicken. And oh yeah, it's browning up really nicely on that skin. So I'm just going to flip it over and do the same thing. I just want to sear it on that other side. That chicken is just about done cooking, so I'm going to go ahead and prepare my pan. I just use a small oval baker for this. You want something that you can cover up pretty easily. Any kind of baking dish will do. And I'm just going to line the bottom with the rest of these orange segments here. Then I'm going to go ahead and turn off my pan. Yeah, that's nice and brown. And I'm going to put the chicken in right over the top of the oranges in the bottom of this pan. Perfect. Now I have in my pan here some great renderings, some fat renderings from that chicken. And so we're going to use that to cook up our green beans and potatoes in a little bit, but I don't want to start them yet because I want to keep this cooking here. It's going to take a little bit longer. So that little mixture that we made with the oil and the juice and rosemary and fennel, just going to drizzle it right over the top of that chicken. Lovely. And then I cover my baker, and I've had my oven preheating to 450, and I'm just going to put this in the oven and bake it for about 20 to 25 minutes, just until it's done. For our parsleyed green beans and potatoes, I've got my pan reheating up here. I don't need to add any kind of oil or butter to the pan because I already have some nice drippings in here from the chicken that we seared in there earlier. So what I have are 4 small Yukon Gold potatoes. Red potatoes work for this as well. I'm using about 10.5 ounces or 300 grams. And by the way, both of these dishes that I'm making tonight will serve 4 people. And so all I want to do with my potatoes is just roughly chop them up. For my green beans, I'm just using regular green beans. Normally, if I can find them, I like to use the French green beans, which are a little smaller and thinner, and they're called haricots verts. But I'm just using regular green beans here. I've got about ½ pound. And all I'm going to do is trim off the ends and then cut them in half. I'm just going to add them right into the dish. And then I'm going to add just 1 clove of garlic. I like to press it in because I love all those fresh oils that you get when you press the garlic instead of cutting it. But you can certainly mince it as well. Let's add a little bit of salt. I love this coarse sea salt because I just love the texture. And it adds a very nice, subtle, not overly salty flavor to the dish. A good crank of freshly ground pepper. You might ask, why do I use freshly ground pepper instead of the powdered pepper that you can buy. And that's because when you freshly grind the pepper, you get the oils from it. It's just a little bit more flavorful. Great. So I'm going to let this cook up until the potatoes are nice and tender, and that should be right about the same time that we pull our orange chicken out of the oven. Our chicken is just about done, so let's go ahead and finish up our potatoes and green beans here. I'm going to turn off the heat. I've got a small handful of flat leaf parsley, or Italian parsley, and I'm just going to chop it up. This is going to make about a quarter cup once it's all chopped. And then I'm just going to add that right to my pot here. Perfect. How pretty is that? Very easy to make. So now, let's go ahead and get that orange chicken. And look at that. It's made a nice little bit of juice at the bottom of that. Steaming in that aroma, it's going to be so incredibly flavorful. So let's get this served up. So when I serve this, I like to just garnish it with one of the oranges from the bottom. Keep in mind that as you are eating this, it's still going to have the oranges stuffed in there. And we've got this nice juice in the bottom. I just like to drizzle it right over the top of that chicken. Take a little bit of those parsley, potatoes, and green beans. And voila, we have a lovely dinner of pan-roasted orange chicken and parsleyed potatoes and green beans. I'm going to go sit down and enjoy my dinner. I hope that you will give this a try. Let me know what you think, and I will see you next time in my kitchen.